There are 10 hybrid SUVs on sale in Australia right now, and on the used market, that almost nobody actually wants to buy. Some owners who purchased these vehicles 3 years ago are finding out their car is worth less than what they still owe on it. We are talking about losses of $15,000, $20,000, in some cases close to $30,000 AUD, on cars that were sold to Australian families as the safe, forward-thinking choice. The dealers who sold these vehicles already know the resale numbers. That is why, right now, some of them are refusing trade-ins, offering figures that make owners feel physically ill. Walking away from negotiations on vehicles they moved out of showrooms just a few years ago. The people who got hurt did not do anything wrong. They trusted the brochure, trusted the government incentives, and trusted that what they were buying would hold its value the way cars are supposed to. They just did not have this information in time. If you own one of these cars, or you are thinking about buying one, watch this before you make any decisions. We tracked 10 specific hybrid SUV models now losing value at a rate that should alarm every buyer in Australia. The research comes from CarsGuide's February 2025 Australian resale analysis, redbook.com.au valuation data, and real owner reports from Australian forums. We are going hardest first. The Australian hybrid and plug-in hybrid SUV market in 2026 looks nothing like what the brochures promised 3 years ago. 3 things have happened simultaneously, and together they have destroyed the resale value of these specific vehicles. First, Chinese brands arrived: BYD, MG, GWM, Chery, all offering brand new SUVs with more technology, more range, and more features than 3-year-old Korean and European PHEVs, at prices that undercut used equivalents. Why would an Australian buyer pay $30,000 for a 2022 Kia Sportage PHEV with 60,000 kilometres on it when a brand new BYD Atto 3 with full warranty costs less and does more? Second, the FBT exemption ended. The Australian government's fringe benefits tax exemption on plug-in hybrids, which drove a significant portion of fleet PHEV purchases from 2022 to 2025, expired on the 31st of March 2025. Fleet buyers who bought PHEVs specifically for the tax benefit no longer have that reason. And when fleet leases end on those cars, they flood the used market simultaneously. Third, early PHEV technology is aging. The plug-in hybrid systems in 2021 and 2022 model vehicles are now competing against systems that travel twice the electric range, charge faster, and integrate more cleanly with home solar. The used market sees this and adjusts its offers accordingly. The result is a 2-tier hybrid market. Self-charging hybrids from Toyota, the RAV4, the Camry, the CHR, are holding value better than almost any SUV segment in Australia. Plug-in hybrids from everyone else are not. We will show you that benchmark at the end of this video. First, here are the 10 you need to know about. Car number 1, and we are starting here because no other SUV in CarsGuide's February 2025 Australian resale analysis performs worse. The Peugeot 3008. After 3 years, CarsGuide's data shows the 3008 retaining just 39.4% of its original value. On a new car that costs $50,075 Australian dollars, that is a loss of over $30,000 in 3 years. To put that in context, the Australian market average for SUV depreciation over 3 years sits at around 43% retained value. The Peugeot 3008 loses more than that in its first year alone. It continues losing. And it does not stop at 3 years. It is not a badly made car. The design is genuinely striking, one of the most distinctive interiors in its segment. It drives well. It is comfortable. But the used market in Australia does not pay a premium for French design or brand perception the way European buyers do. Australians look at a used Peugeot and see an expensive parts network, a limited dealer footprint outside major cities, and a brand that has never built the reliability trust that Toyota or Mazda has earned over decades. You paid for something the resale market simply does not recognize. Car number 2, the Jeep Compass. CarsGuide's Australian data shows it retaining just 48.8% of its original value after 3 years, on a vehicle that starts at $45,990 Australian dollars. That is a loss of over $23,000. The Compass arrived in Australia presenting itself as a capable, rugged small SUV at a reasonable price point. And some of what it promised, it delivered. The Trailhawk variant has genuine off-road credentials. The interior quality improved significantly with the 2021 facelift. What it could not outrun was the brand reputation that follows Jeep wherever the warranty ends. CarsGuide's own reviewer noted that Jeep has a documented background of electrical and build quality problems. Australian buyers know this. When they see a used Compass on car sales, they factor in the risk of being outside the Stellantis dealer network with a vehicle that has historically generated more questions than confidence. The result is that the Compass's used price falls faster than almost any small SUV in its segment. Rival vehicles from Mazda, Toyota, and Subaru hold 60 to 70% of their value in the same time frame. The Compass holds 48.8. Car number 3, the Renault Koleos. According to CarsGuide's February 2025 Australian analysis, it retains just 50.7% of its value after 3 years. The Koleos competes directly against the Toyota RAV4 and the Nissan X-Trail. For an Australian buyer in the mid-size SUV market, all three land in a similar price range. What they do not do is depreciate at a similar rate. The RAV4 retains 81 to 84% of its value after 3 years. The X-Trail holds roughly 60 to 65%. The Koleos holds 50.7%. That gap is not a rounding error. On a $42,500 car, the difference between Koleos depreciation and RAV4 depreciation is worth over $13,000 after just 3 years of ownership. The Koleos is not without merit. It is made in South Korea on Renault-Nissan platform architecture, which gives it more engineering substance than some French-branded vehicles suggest. But in the Australian used market, the Renault badge does not command a premium. There are not enough buyers competing for used Koleos examples to hold the price up. Thin demand on the used market means one outcome: lower offers every time. This channel publishes new videos every week tracking exactly this kind of research. Which Australian cars are losing value, which models are generating fault patterns, and which manufacturers are quietly reducing their after-sales support in this market. If you want to know which cars are heading for trouble before the market figures it out, subscribe now. Every video we publish could save you thousands of dollars. Car number 4. And this is where the absolute dollar losses become genuinely shocking. The Land Rover Discovery Sport. CarsGuide's February 2025 Australian data shows it retaining just 52.5% of its 2024 median listing price after 3 years on a vehicle that starts at $73,504 Australian dollars, and that is the entry point, not a loaded spec. A 47.5% loss means nearly $35,000 gone. CarsGuide also noted something specific about the Discovery Sport's depreciation curve. It holds its value exceptionally well in the first 12 months, retaining 82.8%. That is actually strong. The collapse happens in years 2 and 3. This creates a specific trap. A Discovery Sport owner at 12 months feels fine. The car has not lost much. By year 3, they have absorbed one of the worst depreciation curves of any SUV in the Australian market. And the Land Rover and Alfa Romeo, CarsGuide explicitly notes, have their share of quality glitches that make Australian buyers cautious on the used market. Jaguar Land Rover's dealer network in Australia is present but not extensive. Regional buyers face real service challenges, and for a vehicle with the complexity of a plug-in hybrid Discovery Sport, that service network matters enormously once the factory warranty expires. Car number 5, the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross PHEV. And this one has a detail that most Australians who bought one do not yet fully understand. The Eclipse Cross PHEV's PHEV technology dates back to 2018. The platform architecture it runs on was designed when rivals were offering 40 to 50 kilometres of electric range and calling it adequate. In 2026, BYD and MG are offering new vehicles with 80 to 100 kilometres of pure electric range for the same price or less, brand new with full warranty. Mitsubishi stopped accepting orders for the current generation Eclipse Cross in Australia while they wait for a new model to arrive. What this means for owners is that the car they bought is now being cleared as old stock, with a direct successor already publicly announced. The depreciation curve on outgoing models accelerates the moment the replacement launches.